AE9FJ.
Welcome to the Monday night Raspberry Pi D-Star Net. I am Wayne, call sign Alpha Bravo 9 Foxtrot Juliet, your net control station this week. This net may be interrupted at any time for priority or emergency traffic. I will pause now to allow stations to disconnect from the reflector if they do not want to stay for the net. This net combines two hobbies, ham radio D-Star and microcomputers. And we've said this many times. By microcomputers, we're talking about these single-board computers, the various Pis and BeagleBones and Odroids and similar products. If you have questions, we'll try to find you some answers. And if you've achieved something cool, you're welcome to brag about it. And if you have some news about, new software, new hardware, share it with us. This net usually runs for about an hour. We start with an open mic for anyone who has a question or an announcement. After we deal with those, we'll open up the floor to general check-ins and socializing. In the general check-in part of the net, we could take several check-ins in a row. You'll give your call sign and your name, and then I will pick up several check-ins at once. But at the beginning here, we take things one at a time for the announcement and question part of the net. So, does anyone have a question or a comment or news to share? Please give your call sign and we can be acknowledged.
N0WIQ.
All right, I see N0WIQ. Go ahead, Carrie.
Well, last week I brought the question to the group about the rebooting of the Raspberry Pi. If you let's say things set more or less idle with it linked into some reflector or another. And I've got a little more information about that as far as my experiences goes. And it is this. The Raspberry Pi DV Mega stops talking to my radio, but it is still linked to the reflector and all that kind of stuff. But my radio, I can do a reboot from the radio, and it is the reboot. And then everything works again, both ways. So that's my comment. Back to that.
Okay, well, were you asking for other people's experience, if they've run into the same thing or if they have a solution?
Well, if somebody out there has a solution, I'd like to hear it. But on the other hand, I know that there's several other people that had at least part of the same experience. It's just that I'm curious enough that I tried a few more things.
Well, I heard you said that you have a DV Mega, but I don't think I caught what software that you're using with it.
Okay, the kernel or the image that I downloaded was the D-Star Commander image. And I've got two different generations of that because I have noticed a crossover between DV Mega and the D-Star Commander software. So there is that in the background too.
Okay, so I guess we're looking for anyone who's had similar experience with D-Star Commander and a DV Mega, and in particular, if somebody has a solution.
Well, like I said, the DV Mega is a transceiver, a transmitter and a receiver. And it quits transmitting to my radio. Then I've got to put the Raspberry Pi through a reboot so I can fully control the DV Mega again. then the DB Mega has a two-way communications again.
Okay, that's helpful additional information. So let's see if anyone would like to comment. Please call now. Well, I'm not hearing anything, Carrie, but perhaps somebody will think of something while we proceed with the net. So stand by, and maybe we'll have some more information for you later. Do we have any other questions or announcements for tonight's net?
KC8YQL.
I see KC8YQL. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Wayne, and all on the net. And thank you for hosting the net for us, by the way. Not really Raspberry Pi related. It's more a kit building related. I don't know if you caught it, Wayne, or any of the other guys on the net, or gals. Ham Nation last Wednesday had part 2 of HeatKit. And Bobby Heil said he's going to be cranking things up a little even better this coming Wednesday night on the netcast to Ham Nation. And he's going to have part 2 of HeatKit. And actually have a real representative on from HeatKit. Now, I hope he's talking about the original HeatKit, not the new HeatKit, but I don't really know that. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you guys. Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock on live.twit.tv. If any old-timers are out there, kind of sort of like me, that put together some of those HeatKits, you might enjoy the program. KC8YQL is back to net control.
Okay, thank you. And that's Eastern time, 9 p.m. Wednesday Eastern time. Do we have any more announcements or questions for tonight's net? Okay, maybe it'll be a short net tonight. Let's move along to check-ins. And as I said at the beginning there, please give your call sign. And we can take, 4 or 5 call signs in a row, and then I will run down the list and take each check-in in turn. So we're open to check-ins now.
K2IL.
Kilo Charlie 9, Uniform Delta Alpha, KC988.
KA9ORH.
Nine Zulu 4 Charlie, Trinidad.
Okay, let's hold it there. That last one, did you say in and out? You're not staying for socializing?
Negative, net controller. I'm leaving to go to work there. So I was just going to take off the computer and I heard net in progress. So I just come in, spend a little 5 minutes with you all there, and I do for Charlie.
Okay, I'm sorry, 9Z4 Charlie. You said Trinidad, and I thought you said in and out, which is sometimes used on other nets for stations that are not going to stay for QSO, but they just want to be registered, for the account, as they say. So we'll come back to you shortly there. So backing up here, the first call sign I caught, just a call sign, Kilo 2 India Lima Hotel. The second one was KC9 Uniform Delta Alpha. The third one was Kilo Alpha 9, Oh, shoot, what does O stand for? ORH, and 9 Zulu 4 Charlie. So, starting with K2ILM. Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, and thanks for the holding the net tonight. I usually try to check in every Monday night, but being here on the East Coast, more or less, I usually fall asleep by the time you get to the check-ins. So, I'll be listening though. As you say, the name is Bill, and we're located in Western New York on the Canadian border between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. And I always enjoy the net as long as I don't fall asleep. Thanks again, K2ILH.
Okay, so I guess that's the silver lining that comes with a short question and announcement section of the net. Okay, well, welcome to the net, Bill. Good to hear you. Next we have KC9UDA.
Anytime KC9UDA here around Wisconsin is second in. But he hasn't been second in because I've been working so off tonight and just wanted to stole my call for KC9UDA that connect.
Okay, Tom, we had a little bit of R2D2 on you there, but I think we got the gist of it. Welcome to the net tonight. Next, KA9ORH.
So this is KA9ORH. Name is Steve. I'm in South Urbana on the local repeater here. One question, Wayne. I'm still trying to get all the bugs out of D-Star. I'm wondering, does my location show up on your ID?
Let's see. It's not showing up on the main one that I'm looking at, but let me look at the dongle, the DB tool display. Key up again for about 2 or 3 seconds. Let me see what shows up there.
KA9ORH.
Okay, yeah, the user message is Steve/Urbana, IL.
Sutton AAT.
Okay, Wayne. Well, like I say, I think I've still got some issues with the GPS part of my system. I'm still trying to read up and get some of the bugs out. But yeah, I was glad to know that at least that shows up. I have nothing else for the net, just first-time check-in. So thanks for welcoming me in. So back to you. This is KA9ORH.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And Kilo Delta 7 Alpha Alpha Tango. I see you, and I'll be coming to you shortly after a couple other check-ins here. Next we have November Zulu 4 Charlie from Trinidad. Go ahead.
Yeah, here, sir, not the November 9 Zulu 4 at the net control. Good night to you there, Owen. The 49 Zulu 4 Charlie. The name is Cutbush, and I'm transmitting from Central Trinidad in a song called Hoover at the Owen. Before I told you, I just spent 5 minutes because I have to get on to work there. So I'm not really staying long. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come up on the network tonight. I just be on the Sunday night network. I will tell you about what happened there. Our repeater is down right now, so we're trying to get a proper location for repeater there with 904 Charlie.
Okay, thank you, 9 Zulu 4 Charlie. Welcome to the net. Next I have Kilo Delta 7 Alpha Alpha Tango.
Well, thanks, and I didn't want to jump in. I just wanted to jump in and say, yes, I saw him across my ID51, using it on my Raspberry Pi with the DV Mega. I'm on a travels right now using my smartphone hotspot, and KD780 out of Napomo, California, and right now we're in El Cajon, California, about 350 miles south. Thanks for letting me in, KD780.
Okay, John. I bad news for you there. There was quite a lot of packet loss on that transmission, about 12%, so it was very choppy. I think we maybe copied 70% of what you were saying. So why don't you give it another try there? I'm sort of expecting that it'll be the same, but anyway, try saying what you want to say. Well, as clearly and quickly as you can.
Okay, I'll just say it real quick. Kilo Delta 7 Alpha Tango, thanks for letting me in and having the opportunity. I'm using my Raspberry Pi with a DV Mega, ID51 doing it. Thanks, KD780.
Okay, that was much better. I think I got about 95% copy on that, just a couple of hiccups in there. So, okay, got you that time. You've got a DV Mega with an ID51. Okay, thank you, John. Let's see. Carrie, did you want to jump back in there? N0, WIQ?
Hey, I recently bought a Harden Power Systems BH-AP box, and I was wondering if there's anybody else out there that has one of those and can give me some insight to a few things.
Okay, let me get that. I didn't make a note. So it was a Harden Power Systems. What was the model number?
It was a DHAP, Delta Henry Alpha Papa. It's a little box that they make with a battery pack built in.
Okay, I thought I heard you give a number, like a model number or something like that, so I must have misunderstood. So, okay, so is that one of those yellow ones that they made on a 3D printer?
Well, at this current time, I think they've switched from yellow to black because mine is black, but it also says that it's made with a 3D printer.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those before. I don't own one myself, so we'll see if anyone else has some experience with that product to share with you. Now, I saw another call sign while you were talking there. Let's see, was that a real... Yeah, it was Kilo Whiskey 4 X-Ray Romeo.
Yes, KW4XR. I just wanted to give a brief comment. The station that you were talking to right before Carrie, that you were mentioning had packet loss, I copied 100% of both of his transmissions here in North Carolina.
Okay, then perhaps the packet loss was closer to my end than it was to his. Thank you for that information. So let's see, I think I'm caught up with call signs. Does anyone else like to check in or make a comment about Carrie's DHAP?
Well, VE7LEE has a comment about the DHAP and a comment about the other station's GPS.
Okay, VE7LEE. Ted, you have the floor.
Thank you there, Wayne. Just let everyone know, next week, it's my turn to be the net control. But getting back with the DHAP, there's a local station that had some bad experience with the DHAP. His DVAP inside of the DHAP moved around and went across the battery terminals and shorted out and burning out his DVAP. And he wasn't happy. So a suggestion that maybe you put some electrical tape on the terminals so thus prevent shorting in case things move around inside of your DHAP. And with the GPS, sometimes the radio, because on my other radio that has GPS built into it, the FT1D, I must be outside and get a GPS signal off the satellites first so it knows where it is, and then it will transmit my location and tell me the direction and distance of the last station received. So 2 pieces of information there, one about the DHAP and one about the GPS. Or you could also hard program in your longitude and latitude in your radio and turn off the GPS, and then it will transmit your location. Back to you there, Wayne. You're doing a great job. EE7LEE.
Okay, thank you, Ted. So let's go back to Carrie and see if she would like to comment about your suggestion for short-proofing that battery in the DHAP. Go ahead, Carrie.
Well, I have noticed that the batteries in the battery compartment are somewhat loosely held, so maybe putting a piece of something across them so they didn't fall out would be a good idea also. But I intend to use a thing portable and won't have to use the voltmeter, so I'm most interested in figuring out a way to sense the low voltage so I can cause the Raspberry Pi to shut down logically.
Well, I would think that the Raspberry Pi has some analog input, so you ought to be able to monitor the battery voltage. Well, I'm not sure exactly how to do that, especially if the battery voltage is above the voltage of the Raspberry Pi. You might have to scale it down with a voltage divider or something. But anyway, I would think that it's a doable project to have software monitoring your battery condition. Would anyone else like to comment about Carrie's idea? Okay, I guess we're going to have a short net tonight. But let's go back to Steve. KA9ORH. Did you copy what Ted said about the GPS?
Yes, I did, Wayne. So noted. I have not put in my permanent latitude and longitude. The other thing, I have spotty connection where I'm at with the repeaters, so that may be part of the problem. So I'll say thanks to him. That gives me a place to look and to troubleshoot a little bit. So back to you, Wayne. KA9ORH.
Okay, Steve. Well, thank you for your question and your participation. So I think I've caught up, and it's time to take some more check-ins. So if you would like to check into tonight's net, please give your call sign.
KB9AZE.
Okay, I suppose I should have mentioned that it is also sufficient to simply key up your radio for a second or two. I'm not sure if that's what they mean when they say quick keying. Connie on the Sunday night net is definitely against it. And I definitely wouldn't want people to get in the habit of doing it so often and so quickly that they were doubling with each other. But I'm looking at the log, the D plus log, on our repeater, and so I can even a short transmission will register in the log, and I can see the call sign. So anyway, what you wanted to know, I suppose. We have two call signs: Alpha Delta 3 Alpha Alpha and Kilo Delta 9 Alpha Zulu Bravo. So we'll first go to Lee in Pennsylvania.
Hello, AB9 Foxtrot Juliet, Alpha Delta 3 Alpha Alpha. Yeah, I'm not from Pittsburgh tonight. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And did it getting late. Yeah. Well, I think it's a great net you guys have with the Raspberry Pi and the banana pies and all that. That's about all I have. It's been raining here, and yeah, I was used to quick keying on Mondays because I check into the Western Pennsylvania D-Star net, and that's what we have been doing. Force of habit, I guess. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lee. And I suppose I should go further and say that what I just said about quick keying or keying up without actually giving your call sign, that applies only to me. When one of the other NCs is running the net, there's no guarantee that they have a similar capability. And so I would say all bets are off. So when I'm the NC of the net, you can key up silently and I'll catch you. But other weeks of the month, I highly recommend key up, give your call sign, and then unkey. Anyway, I probably have beaten that horse way past death. Next we have Kilo Delta 9 Alpha Zulu Bravo. I think that's John.
Good evening, Wayne, and everyone on the net. It's KD9AZB, John, in Park Forest, Illinois, about 36 miles south of Chicago. I'm transmitting on an ICOM 5100 with a Raspberry Pi DV Mega hotspot. My question for tonight is, and it's a very simple one. I just don't know how to go about doing it. The commands on the when you put all your information in for the repeater and the gateway and everything, it has a section with the controls of shutdown, reboot, and everything. How do you go about programming those commands? That's all I have. Back to you. KD9AZB.
Are those in your 5100, or is that in your software that runs on the Raspberry Pi? You didn't say which image that you're using. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's in the Raspberry Pi, and it is the Western image that came with the hotspot kit from Gigaparts.
Okay, so I think what your question is, you're asking for help configuring the Western D-Star image, in particular the things about, well, these control commands, like I think you said rebooting and that sort of thing?
Yes, that is my question.
Okay, so we're looking for some advice from a Western D-Star image user who can help John with his configuration.
in.
Well, just as a point of information, oh, wait a minute, I see Terry just jumped in there. Maybe doubling with her even now, so or him. Terry, go ahead.
Well, I don't use the Western D-Star image, but the D-Star Commander image also has that situation, and that is for remote control of the Raspberry Pi for such things. And I mean, that's about all I can say about it because I have seen it and know about it and all that kind of stuff. But I never paid any attention to it because I set up my Raspberry Pis with an SSH input so I can get into it with from a remote desktop. And then they also have the I can look at the desktop with what do they call that? I never remember. VLC. And so I can look at the desktop as well as just logging in with an SSH. But either way, it lets me control the Raspberry Pi. So I haven't worried about the control stuff in the D-Star setup. I'll put it that way.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. I wonder, John, did you have a specific question about, like, well, I'm not even sure what question to ask. I've never actually used those images. So, are you trying to set up a command to reboot your Pi, for example, and you just don't know how to do it, or you want to know the best way to do it, or narrow down the question a little bit?
Okay, I would say maybe 3 weeks ago, Carrie brought up a question about why the DV Mega goes to sleep, shuts down, and I was experiencing the same problem. I used to leave the Raspberry Pi on, the hotspot on all of the time, and it seems like I would say it shuts down, I would say in a 7 or 8 day period. So is it safe to just unplug it and shut it off, or do I have to create a command for shutdown to not damage the hotspot? I hope I said that right.
Okay, yeah. I think I understand what you're asking there, and in my opinion, you do not want to just unplug the Raspberry Pi and cut off the power. That's not a graceful way to shut it down, and it opens you to potential problems, corrupting your flash memory, your SD card, making it impossible to reboot after that, or even worse, you might be able to reboot, but there will be subtle errors on the SD card causing programs to misbehave very mysteriously. So I would definitely say, if at all possible, try to shut down the Raspberry Pi gracefully by executing a script or a command to take it down the way it's supposed to go down. So, and Carrie was just talking about earlier in the net how she has that's what she does when her hotspot kind of gets hung. She sends the reboot command from her radio, and after waiting for the reboot, then everything is good again.
Okay, how do you send the reboot command from the radio? How do you set that part of it up?
Carrie, would you pick it up from here and describe what you did?
K2ILH.
I think we may have lost Carrie, but I see Bill is in there. Bill, did you want to reply to John?
Yeah, roger that. This is K2ILH. I'm familiar with what he's trying to do. Perhaps we all are. The Western image is basically a variation of the G4KLX software. I'm using the Maryland D-Star image myself, and you can find that on the website. There's a section in there about how to remote control it. I do have a reboot and I have a shutdown command programmed in. You have to set it up in the image with the remote commands and the password. And then you program one of your memory locations so that instead of CQ, you have reboot or shutdown, or whatever you've defined. I think there's two commands you can define, but I would refer him to the Maryland D-Star website to see about the remote control, because I know it exists there. I hope that helps. This is K2ILH.
N0WIQ. KB9AZE.
Yeah, but I did not hear any audio.
AE9FJ.
K2ILH, did you get my transmission?
Bill, yes, I copied your transmission. I'm having a little difficulty getting back to John here, and I have Carrie waiting in the wings here. So, let's see, John, did you copy Bill?
Yes, I did, and thanks, Bill. I have seen what you just said on the Western D-Star image. So I will give that a try and see if it works. Thanks a lot. 73s.
Okay, and I saw Carrie was in there a couple of times. I think we might have doubled. So, Carrie, you have the floor now.
Okay. With the D-Star radio, you can put in the command of reboot or shutdown, and you put that in the use repeater CQ area of the D-Star radio, and you can control the Raspberry Pi that way. And the basic issue is knowing when this thing is back ready to use, and it will send a message to the radio saying it's either not linked or it's linked to something. So there is that comment. And of course, using SSH from a remote desktop is a remote shell login that you can use, and you can tell the Raspberry Pi to reboot or shut down via that. So, I mean, hey, there's always more than one way to skin a cat. Believe it or not, it's a guy.
And I was just tempted to add that if you don't have a desktop handy, but you've got your smartphone in your pocket there, you can get an SSH client that'll run on your smartphone and get into your hotspot that way. So that would be something handy while you're traveling, for example. I see KC5ALH, but before I recognize you, I'm going to pass it back to John. KD7AAT so that he can catch up with the comments from Bill and Kerry.
Yes, the information was very helpful. I did understand both what Bill and Kerry were saying. I will I'll give it a shot. Won't hurt. Thanks a lot for the assistance. 73, back to the net.
And a couple of others, whatever. But I wouldn't even mess with I would, well, from my experience, D-Star Commander is the application that I would use for D-Star, and it's worked 100% flawless for me for many years. So, yeah, I've got all that stuff into my ID51. It commands my Raspberry Pi with the DV Mega that I'm running right now. And I also have the IRC DDB software on my application on my smartphone. And I can't go any further because it all works flawlessly. KD7AAT.
Okay, John, I think I stepped on you at the beginning there. But the gist I get was that you're happy with your setup. That's great. Did I miss something?
Negative. D-Star Commander, been using it for a few years on a Raspberry Pi with a DV Mega. ID51 with all of the commands in your call, shut down, reboot, turn off, and I've actually got a couple of others in there. And I've got my Raspberry Pi with the DV Mega D-Star Commander that automatically either connects to my home router when I'm there or automatically connects to my hotspot on my smartphone, which I am using right now. KD7AAT.
W2P.
Okay. Thank you for that report, John. Next, I think I have Kilo Charlie 5, Alpha Hotel. And in the wings, I also see Whiskey 2, Papa Whiskey, I think is checking in. So let's go with ALH.
Okay, good evening and hello to everybody on the PodNet tonight. KC5LH, Palm Big Spring, Texas. I was just going to recommend D-Star Commander myself. It works quite well. I've been using that for very many years, and it's, to me, so far, after trying all kinds of different images and, you know, very many different ways of connecting onto D-Star and things, I'm going to have to probably say that for the Pi and the D-Star Commander is probably the most solid, you know. The most solid, it's been there the longest, it's dependable. I'm getting into a little bit of using the Pi Star now, but that's all kind of new, and you know, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it holds up over a little bit more time. But I still think that it's really hard to beat a Raspberry Pi, a Mega, and running the D-Star Commander. It works quite well, and I just don't think you'll go wrong with that if you're just wanting it to, you know, to do D-Star. Back over to the net. Hopefully everyone's doing good tonight on Monday night. KC5ALH.
Okay, thank you, Paul. That was a good testimonial there for D-Star Commander. Let's see, Whiskey 2, Papa Whiskey, did you want to check into the Raspberry Pi D-Star net tonight? And it's probably time for me to say that this is Alpha Bravo 9, Foxtrot Juliet, this week's net control.
KW4XR.
I think we had another station jumping in there, KW4XR. Please stand by and let W2PW check in. Oh, my bad. That W2PW, it looks like he was doing an unlink. So, never mind. Let's move along to KW4 X-Ray Romeo.
I was just checking in. I hadn't heard you call for chickens in a while, so I was just, letting you know that I was here and doing a quick check-in.
Okay, would you like to give us your handle and your location?
Oh, Roger. My name's Jamie, and I'm located in Western North Carolina.
Okay, Jamie, yeah, thank you for checking in. And I think I might have seen your call sign in the log before. And, well, we just get kind of into a back and forth thing there. And sometimes I can lose track of who I have not acknowledged. So I'm sorry for the delay about that in getting to you. But anyway, welcome to the net. And let's see if there's anyone else who would like to check in tonight.
Delta 4, Lima, Yankee, Victoria, Wayne.
KC6K.
KC6KNL.
VE5RS.
Okay, I have about 4 or 5 call signs there. W6 Alpha Alpha X-Ray, Kilo Delta 9, Golf Bravo Tango, Kilo Charlie 6, Kilo November Lima, and Victor Echo 5 Romeo Sierra, and I think that's everybody. So, W6AAX, go ahead.
Well, good evening, Wayne in the net. I'm W6AAX, and this is Al in Temecula, California. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've been able to check into the net here, but a lot of interesting information as usual. I'm actually running the Raspberry Pi Zero for the second night here in a row. I've got it actually last week. I had to get a little cable for it, the mini USBs. But it's working quite well. I just pulled the mini SD card out of my old Raspberry Pi 3 and slipped it into this one, and it's working just fine, seamless. And I was hoping it'd boot up a little bit faster, but it hasn't. I'm running D-Star Commander and running the DVAP and an i51. Also, I did notice that the shutdown command on the old Raspberry Pi used to just turns basically the software off or come out of D-Start Commander. The shutdown command on the Raspberry Pi Zero, it actually shuts down the Raspberry Pi, which was a pleasant surprise to me. So that's a kind of a nice feature to attain. Anyway, I'm loving the size of this Raspberry Pi Zero. The footprint is not that much bigger than the DVAP. So I know quite a few people are starting to run them now, and what a great little device. Anyway, I'll send it back to the net. Thank you so much for running the net there. W6AAX back to net.
Okay, thank you, Al. We had a little bit of packet loss on our end here, but only about 7%, so we were able to copy you pretty well. Next we have Kilo Delta 9, Golf Bravo Tango. And also, I just want to say, I also saw another call sign that kind of slipped in there before, Whiskey Delta 4, Lima Yankee Victor. I'll put you on the end of my list here. So, right now we go to GBT.
Good evening, everyone. Fascinating net as always. This is John in Urbana. Just listening in. I've got no traffic. Thanks for running the net. I'll turn it back to net control. This is KD9 GBT.
All right, thank you, John. Next we have Kilo Charlie 6, Kilo November Lima.
Good evening, everyone. This is Steve here, KC6KNL. I'm out of North Georgia, and new to D-Star, and I just got this DV3K dongle in the mail today, and I installed the software on a PC and also on a Mac, and I'm actually running on a MacBook Pro right now.
and I just picked up one of those Logitech headsets at Walmart for like $24. It's a really nice headset, the H390, and was wondering how my audio sounds. Just listening to you guys on this reflector sounds really good. I'll pass it back to Nick. This is KC6KNL.
Your audio sounds just fine, Steve. You're doing well with that headset and that setup there. Great. You're sounding great. Next is VE5 Romeo Sierra.
Yeah, good evening, Wayne. It's Ron, VE5RS in Saskatoon, where it's good sitting around enjoying the net. It's kind of a cooler night here, 68 degrees outside, windy and light rain. And I'm running, well, I have two Raspberry Pis. The one I'm using right now is a Raspberry Pi 2 tied to a DVAP running D-Star Commander. That seems to be a really reliable setup there for D-Star anyway. I have a Raspberry Pi 3, and I have I forget the image. It's a little different image on it. I just can't remember which one it was I put on there, but I usually run my DB4 Mini over there. But the DVAP's a lot smoother. And anyway, I'm just checking in, and thanks for doing the net. It's very interesting. This is Ron, VE5RS.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Ron, thank you for checking in. Next, at least I think this was check-in. Whiskey Delta 4 Lima Yankee Victor.
WD4LYV.
Wayne, I saw you tee up, but I did not hear any audio. Try again, please. No, still no audio. Maybe your mic is muted? Well, tinker with it and maybe try again in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and see if anyone else would like to check in. Okay, I see November 5, Oscar Papa Yankee. Go ahead.
Good evening. This is John from Dallas, N50PY. Just got a new D-Star radio, and I'm interested in Raspberry Pi.
Okay, well, this is a good place to find out about both of those. We meet here every Monday night at I guess it's 0200 UTC. Well, at least this time of the year it is. 9 p.m. Central Time. And that kind of sinks me into a sort of an announcement I was going to make there, that we have like 5 net controls who rotate, and each one of us does 1 week. And we've been kind of wanting to have a couple of extras so that we can have some backups to allow for people to be, maybe sick or on vacation or something like that. So if you've been checking into the net for a while, you know how it works, and believe me, there's not a lot of heavy lifting here. When Ted was originally asking for some net controls, I told him that I was comfortable with Unix and Linux, and I've been in D-Star for a long time, and I've been doing nets for a long time. So I'm not actually using a hotspot. I don't. I have a DV dongle, but I don't do anything with RF. So other than with my actual D-Star radios, we have a repeater here. But I'm comfortable yakking on the net. Don't have mic fright. I can ad-lib when I have to. So that's really all it takes to be a net control, is to be comfortable talking to people. And we will even provide you a script if you're a little bit, if that helps for you. I guess the bottom line is, if you've ever considered that maybe you could be a net control for the Raspberry Pi D-Star net, you can contact me at my call sign, Alpha Bravo 9 Foxtrot Juliet at ARRL.net. And I should have looked up Ted's email. I could have given that. Maybe Ted's still with us here, and he can jump in and provide it. I don't want to take a chance on giving the wrong one. Or you can probably go to the Facebook group that I'll be talking about when I close the net out in a minute. There may be a way to volunteer to be a net control on there. And like I said, we have the 4 or 5 that we need for month in and month out, but we would like to have some backups. So volunteering, you would not be committing yourself to being, like every second Monday or, anything like that, but you would be available if needed. So anyway, I just wanted to encourage any of you who might want to do so to volunteer to be a backup net control. So, enough of that. Let's see if there's anyone else who wants to check in, or see if Ted is out there and wants to jump in and comment on what.
Hello, Wayne. Yes, I'm still here, VE7LEE. So my email, if anybody's interested in becoming a backup, and that it is my call sign, Victor Echo 7, Lima Echo Echo, at Shaw spelled Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey.ca for Canada, Charlie Alpha. VE7LEE at shaw.ca. And also you can go to the website, which is www.Victor Alpha 7 Romeo Echo Foxtrot.info and look up the Raspberry Pi net, and it is on there also. And that, so yes, it's 2 places, Facebook or the webpage. Back to you there, Wayne. VE7LEE.
Okay, thank you, Ted, and I'm hoping we get maybe 1 or 2 volunteers out there to help keep the net active, because things happen, and sometimes one of the regular NCs can't be there. So, let's get back to the net here. Do we have anyone else who would like to check in tonight? I wonder, maybe we have people who might have questions about what it's like to be an NC. Maybe you're tempted, but something is holding you back, and maybe we can answer a question. And maybe not. So, let's make this, it's 2200 Central Time, so let's make this the final call for check-ins for this week's Raspberry Pi D-Star net. WD4 LYV. Try it one more time. Nope, sorry. I'm seeing you key up, but I'm not hearing any audio. Well, let me ask, does anybody else hear audio from WD4 YV.
I don't hear any of the audio out there except yours.
Okay, I just wanted to check because, it might have been on my end. So, sorry, Wayne, your audio is not making it through. Okay, well, maybe by next week, you'll have it straightened out there. So, come back and join us next time. So, I'm going to wrap it there and say that to find out more about this net, check our Facebook page at facebook.com/groups/dstar.pi, or the webpage that Ted mentioned, va7ref.info. I'm not sure if the www dot at the beginning is required, so if it doesn't work, try adding that. So, your participation in this net makes amateur radio a more valuable resource in time of need. I'm now returning Reflector 38 Charlie to normal use. Please allow a 30-second pause for DDAPs and repeaters to disconnect before you start using the reflector again. This is Alpha Bravo 9, Foxtrot Juliet, out.